here. So today we're going to be comparing the Walking Dead TV show and the Walking Dead comics. Now, I absolutely love both of these. The show is my favorite show and the comic is my favorite comic. And I just think that they're both very, very well told stories. But today we're going to be comparing them we're going to be comparing them, talking about what's better in each and stuff like that. But first I want to say that if you want early access to every video or full reactions to the things I'm watching, definitely subscribe to my Patreon for $1 or from $1 to $15. Anything you choose goes towards the channel, and you get early access to every single video that goes up on the channel. So just keep that in mind if you're interested. If not, that's perfectly fine as well. But anyways, so yeah, let's get right into it. So I do prefer the show over the comic, just because I feel like it's easier to connect with the character in a show because it's an actual real, human. If you're connected to a comic book character, that just means that the writers done a good job, and I am connected to a lot of the characters, but not as much as the TV show characters, it's actual emotion. So I feel like it really depends on the story, because in the show it's really easy to get attached to characters, like definitely versus the comic. So, but they can be better than one another, because if the story in the comic is way better than the show, then you're gonna like the comic better. But I love them both, but the show definitely wins. Because it has changed some stuff as well from the comics, like Alpha's death. Carol was involved in that, which I feel was very much needed for the show. Some of the stuff with the governor was changed, and then they sort of remixed some deaths, which I'm not surprised about, because it definitely makes the show more interesting. Because if they completely followed the comics, like death by death, it'd be very predictable. Like if because Tyrese dies in the comics, but in the show Herschel got Tyrese's death, with his head being cut off by the governor. So if they kept with Tyrese, and then they kept with Glenn, which they obviously did keep with Glenn, but they added an Abraham, so it made it more shocking. And then the show has some original characters. Pretty much every character in the comic is introduced in the show, but I don't know if there's any comic original characters that aren't in the show. Like, they're all comic original, but I don't know if there's like any of them that have not been in the show. They're like big characters. Like in the show, there's many characters that aren't in the comics. Some of them a lot of them are actually dead right now in the comics that are still alive in the show, and vice versa. Like Luke, he's dead in the comics, but he's still alive in the show. He originally died on the Pikes. So, and then obviously Carl, Jesus, all those characters are still alive in the show or in the comic, but they're dead in the show. Andrea is another one that should have lived on a lot longer, but there's a lot of differences between the show and the comic. Obviously, Rick is still there, Michonne is still there in the comic, but Maggie is still there, but she's coming back in the show. But anyways, yeah. So there's a lot of differences between characters that are still there. There's a lot of differences in story as well. There's a lot of show original stuff that we've seen, especially as of recently, because in the show, a lot of stuff is way different. Originally in the show or in the comic, all this horde stuff took place at Alexandria, and in the show it's taking place at a hospital. It's very different, but it's still enjoyable. So they're very different, but they're very good, and they're both very similar as well. So I don't think that the show is going to end the same as the comic, though. That's another thing I wanted to discuss, is that the comic ended with a 25-year time jump in Carl reading the Walking Dead story to his daughter named Andrea. In the show, obviously, Carl is dead. Rick is gone. Rick dies the issue before the last issue, but he could come back and they can change it. I really have no idea. But that's another video I want to do, is how I think The Walking Dead will end. But when it really comes down to it, I think they're going to somehow make it, I don't know. You gotta have it be bittersweet. I feel like the perfect way to end the show is that you have Rick and Michonne come back from the movies or whatever to the show, and then the series finale is them landing and everybody reuniting and just everything tying up, all the stories and everything. So I feel like that'd be like the perfect ending for sure, because I feel like his exit really set up a perfect ending, because if Rick was still here, there wouldn't be a good end. Like, there wouldn't be a perfect ending that I can envision right now. So I feel like that's kind of a perk to him leaving, but at the same time, it's like, if Rick was still here, we would have gotten a lot of stuff with him and the Whispers, and you can't really pass that up for anything. So, and then when it comes to like the deaths as well, again, Abraham, he was changed from the comic as well, because originally in the comic he got Denise's death from the show. So, and then he actually ended up with Glenn's death, and then Glenn sort of got his show original, or his comic original. Like, they're basically the same death, so I don't know. But yeah, this was a little bit of a shorter video because I just wanted to talk about them. I do like the show better than the comic. The comic has a lot of more story that the show hasn't done yet, so the show could do that better as well. Because I feel like they did the Whisper arc better, but at the same time, the Whisper arc in the comic is my favorite arc from the comic, and I really think it might be my favorite arc from the show. I don't really know or not, but because some of that stuff you can't forget about, like the Governor arc, that was amazing. So, but yeah, so let me know what you guys prefer definitely down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Tomorrow, most likely, will be the next 100 reaction. I don't know, it's kind of overwhelming, so I want to take my time with it. And I do apologize for the reaction being up late. I had some difficulty uploading. So, as well as Patreon again, if you want to, it's Ryan's CWD channel. It's in the link below in the description, and you can donate in whatever way you can. If not, again, perfectly fine. But thank you guys so much for watching. Again, remember to leave your preference, or if you haven't read the comics, let me know if you're going to eventually, or if you tried and couldn't, or what. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.